I be stepping like I got a child. When I'm mad, I be stepping in style. I get the pack and get rid of it. Yeah, I really be walking shit down. Chasing the back, I be driving through cow. Driving for hundreds and hundreds of miles. I really got what it take, gotta be dedicated. I've been at this shit for a while. These niggas taking.
Oh, look, y'all. You see it on me. You see it. Welcome to the walk down, or welcome back to the walk down for people that's tuning in again. Again, the walk down is a podcast to motivate the masses. It's mindful messages to motivate the masses. We're trying to influence the next generation by giving them tools and keys to walk down life. So, and where I'm from, Dallas is a bit different depending on what part you go to. From Oak Cliff, yes, I'm from Oak Cliff, born and raised. Graduated from Skyline High School, moved around a lot when I was younger. And what I can say is, being from where I'm from and situations that I've saw, I knew at an early age that college would be a tool to change my life, um, which it did, and I'm thankful for the experience. Um, but yeah, college is something that changed my life personally, and just being, honest and transparent. Being from a poor socioeconomic background and my parents not having college degrees while not being married, I knew the odds were always stacked against me. And that's something that I realized at an early age. Like growing up, I was always smart. I think I finished top 15% of my high school class. I was always a straight A student most of the time. Like not trying to toot my own horn or nothing, but growing up, it was an ongoing joke. Like they'll never let me live it down. It was an ongoing joke that I was going to play quarterback at Harvard. Neither did I not play quarterback in college, but I never went to Harvard. So wish I did. I might have been in class with Lil Baby or something. I was a first gen graduate, two-time graduate from the Grambling State University. GS, GS, you, you. I thought y'all know how to finish it. But what I can say is after my college experience, not only going to college, but working in the space at the mid-major and high major level, I was able to see a lot of different things. What I will say, there's pros and cons of going to college and not going to college. Like college isn't for everybody. I can start with that, and that's okay. But there are pros and cons to going to college. The pros, let's start with benefits. You learn a lot about life. This is the first time where you go off to a place and you're completely on your own. You you start everything fresh. You're learning yourself and you're learning things about life. Um, you learn time management. There's Because you have the freedom to do whatever you want to do, you have to manage your time well. So you'll have two classes or three classes a day. You'll find lunch. You're trying to spend time with your friends. You're trying to pour into yourself. You're trying to take on these extracurricular activities because for the first time in your life, you can do those things. You learn how to manage time between class, making sure that you eat, and spending time with friends. You have to balance time well because if not, one thing will always outweigh the other and it'll knock you off track. If you go to a small town like Prairie View or Grambling, Mississippi Valley, Alcorn State, you go to these small towns where there's not a lot of food places, um, knowing how to cook is very essential. Like, I promise you, Grambling State, love it to death. If you go there, you're going to have 3 to 5 chicken places and 25 Mexican restaurants. Knowing how to cook saved my life while I was going to Grambling. I will say that. Yeah, learn how to cook. Learn how to cook. They say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, but the same thing can be said about men for a woman. If you can cook for a girl, she'll love you. because all men don't know how to cook. Free game alert, free game alert, free game. If you can cook, clean, and read an Olive Garden menu, you're ahead of 75% of the man in the single field. Free game, free game alert. Keep your room clean. Pick up clothes off the floor, throw away trash. Having a clean space will help your mental health more than you know. Um, like it really does help with a certain level of discipline, whether you realize it or not. College, I think one big thing about college, no matter where you go, I don't care if you go to school in California, if you go to school in Virginia, you can go to the University of Washington, you can go to FAMU. I don't care where you go. The relationships that you make in college matter the most. Your friendships will make your college experience. The connections that you make in college will make your college experience. Prime example, I'm from Dallas. If you go to school in Dallas, if you go to SMU, make friends with those people. Those people are going to be the ones that's running Dallas in the next 7 to 10 years. Make real relationships, make real connections with your classmates, with your peers, with it don't matter if they're 2 grades ahead of you, 2 grades behind. You never know what someone may do in the future or how you guys could mutually benefit each other. So you make lasting relationships in college. You really, really do. Shout out to the guys, shout out to the gang, shout out to the crew. I've met some of the most genuine people throughout my college experience, not only at my junior college, but at Grambling State University, while working at Louisiana Tech, while working at Baylor. Met some very genuine people in the college space. And again, those relationships could help you, they could hurt you. In my situations, I can say I learned something from every single person that I've met. Doesn't matter if it was a 5 minute conversation, a 10 minute conversation, or if we've been friends for 10 years now. Let's just say ongoing 10. Those experiences, those relationships matter the most. Yes, your degree matters, but who you know matters just as much. Trust me. Going to college exposes you to a lot of things in life. I can say the amount of places that I was able to go to due to my college experience, I would never forget. I was able to play at Arizona, play at Texas Tech, play at Oregon State. I was able to play at the Books Arena. I was able to play at the Suns Arena. So those are things that I may have not been able to experience if I didn't go to college or if I didn't play college basketball. I will say, even working in the college space, I was able to fly to Portland, Oregon for the Sweet 16 to watch Baylor play USC and with Juju Watkins, and that was one of the best experiences that I've ever had. Again, it exposes you to people, the amount of people that I was able to meet. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing to make those genuine relationships, those genuine connections, because those are things that stick with you. Those are people that will stick with you. Those are people that will have your back, whether you realize it or not. Coaches, teammates, friends, those people will have your back. Um, what else I can say? Be mindful of the company you keep. Be mindful while you're making friends. Everyone isn't going to be genuine. Everyone won't have your back. Be very mindful of who you allow in your space and who you allow to know what about you, because everybody does not have the most genuine intentions. And I learned that through experience. And again, I was exposed to a lot of experiences going to college, going to a HBCU. Um, House parties. Grambling is notorious for throwing field parties. Working in the college space, I was able to be a part of a opening a new arena, an experience I'll never forget. Retiring Brittany Griner jersey, I was able to do those two things in the span of 3 months, 2 or 3 months. Those are experiences that I'll never forget. So going to college and even working in that space, you'll experience things that you've never saw before. This is from my experience, so take it with a grain of salt. This may not be for everyone, but this is based off me, based off my experience. There's a HBCU versus PWI argument that goes on. From my experience, I will say HBCU culture is different. Um, from sports to school, it's a completely different vibe. Like the atmosphere at basketball is at the higher level, of course, or football at the higher level is different. But there's nothing like having your people in your corner rooting for you when you're playing these games. Prime example, Alabama State. I dare you to play a game at Alabama State with their students sitting right behind you, telling jokes about your coach. If he got a, don't let him have a ball head and be short. Cook. Talking about your teammates. Don't let him have bad drip on the court. Cook. Talking about you. Don't miss a shot or two. You cook. It's like it's just they're gonna cook you. They're gonna tell their jokes and they're gonna be right behind you. You don't really see that as often in that area while playing at a PWI. But HBCU culture is for some people and it's not for some people. HBCU professors they tend to cater towards the needs of African American students because they understand situations their students come from, they understand backgrounds, so they're willing to help you in ways where other professors may not. And I'm not saying all professors will, but some will work with you. Some will have your back. Some, and this is everywhere. Some professors are lenient. Some professors are strict. But I'm a fan of HBCUs. I'm pro HBCU. I'm for HBCUs. Let's keep the HBCU culture within the HBCUs. I see some wild stuff going on with other universities. I'm just gonna leave it at that. PWI did not go to, but of course the resources are different. Class sizes will be different. Like it would be a completely different experience. So I don't know. I can't give you much information about PWIs. I've only worked in the space. I never went to school there. Based off of knowledge and going through life, I realized that college isn't for everybody. Some people don't graduate high school. If you don't graduate high school, you can't go to college. We can start with that. Some people start work immediately after graduating high school. And that's for outside reasons. If you have kids, if you're taking care of parents, or if you just don't care to go to college, that's fine. A college experience doesn't have to happen right after graduating high school. Like, take your time with doing things, especially if you have to take care of your parents or a kid or anybody. Like, do things at your own time, at your own pace, and it'll be okay. And on the topic of college not being for everybody, some people rather hustle. I love it for the guys. If y'all out here hustling, I love it for you. Like, if you out here in the gym lifting weights, or if you doing plastic surgery, keep hustling. You know, some people just rather hustle than go to school. That's okay. It, it takes a community. It takes all of us to make the world go. And if I'm being transparent, a lot of millionaires don't go to college. And how fast the world is changing is something that you don't have to do. If you don't go to college, you can get into a trade or you can learn a skill. There are a lot of jobs there's going to always be a need for. Always. We'll always need barbers and beauticians. You will always need somebody doing HVAC, welding, being a carpenter, being a chef, dental hygienist, a mechanic, be a construction worker. At this point, you can be a social media influencer. You can make 10 videos and become a social media influencer. You don't, if your goal is to make a lot of money, you don't have to go to college to do that. It's not the way of the world anymore. So, this is my suggestion. Try college. If you want to try college, try it. If you can't afford a full university, start at a community college. It's cheaper and it allows you to figure out what you want out of life, what degree you want to work towards. And a lot of times those credits will transfer to a university, so it gives you more time to plan on exactly what you want out of your college experience rather than jumping right into it. If you want to go to a HBCU, I encourage it. It's nothing like it, but please do your research before you go. Do your research. Because with no disrespect, honestly, with all disrespect, I would hate to go to Mississippi Valley State. I would hate to be a Delta Devil for a weekend. That's my opinion. I don't care if how many Delta Devils see this. I'm scared of Mississippi. I'm scared. I promise. I would rather do anything to be a Delta Devil for the weekend. So, before you choose an HBCU, do your research. If you want a PWI education but an HBCU culture, do your homework. There's a lot of campuses that aren't far from an HBCU. Prime example, if you've been to Florida State or FAMU, you know how close those two universities are. Basically, you two universities sitting on one campus. Same thing with Grambling State and Louisiana Tech. 10 minutes apart. You can go to Louisiana Tech, get a PWI education, have Grambling there for the HBCU experience. So, I think that about wraps up everything here. College isn't for everybody, but if you're like me, coming from situations that aren't the greatest situations, college may be beneficial to use as a tool to take an extra step in life. Well, I think that's it for today's episode. If you have any questions about college in general, any questions, comment on a post, a TikTok. If TikTok is still around when this video comes out, comment on a TikTok, whatever social platform you use, at the Walk Down Pod. That's it. See y'all next time. Remember, stay locked in and always see the vision. You gotta see the vision.
Let's do it. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.